Every year, the world loses over $1.5 trillion to bribes alone. Money that could have built thousands of schools, saved millions of lives, and created endless opportunities. That's more than just a number, it's a symbol of everything we've lost because of corruption: trust, progress, and dignity. But let's take a moment to imagine the opposite. Have you ever wondered what a country would look like if no one ever paid a bribe? If every leader served with honesty? If public funds were used exactly the way they were intended to build schools, fix roads, and uplift communities? Imagine a society where success comes not from connections but from competence, where justice is not a privilege but a promise. Sounds ideal, right? Maybe even impossible. But here's the truth: that future isn't impossible, it's in our hands. More specifically, it's in our generation's hands. That's why today I invite you not just to listen, but to reflect, to question, and to act. Because we, the youth, are not only witnesses of the world we inherit, we are the architects of the world we create. Ladies and gentlemen, and honorable judges, my name is Ali Umri, an international relations student from UIN Jakarta. And I would like to talk about uncorrupted futures, empowering the next generations to build a just society. Corruption is not just a matter of money lost. Its lives are limited, its stolen opportunities, broken systems, and people being told they don't matter. According to the UN, around 5% of global GDP is lost due to corruption. In Indonesia alone, the 2023 Corruption Perception Index places us at 115 out of 180 countries with a score of just 34 out of 100. That's a signal not just of bad governance, but of a broken trust between people and power. But amid these troubling facts, there is hope, and that hope is us. Young people, we the youth, make up more than half of the world's population under 30. In Indonesia alone, youth aged 16 to 30 account for almost a third of the population. We are not just a demographic majority, we are a force of possibility. We are idealistic, and that's our strength. We are not jaded by years of "that's just how things work." Instead, we ask, why should it be that way? Why can't it be better? That's where change begins. And to turn that hope into real action, we need powerful weapons in our hands. Our first weapon is education. Anti-corruption education, as studied by Ma'ruf et al. 2020 and Chayadi 2024, empowers young people to identify and resist corrupt practices. It teaches us to spot manipulation, to recognize unethical behavior, and to stand up for transparency. This kind of education doesn't just build good students, it builds honest leaders, responsible voters, and conscious citizens. However, knowledge without action is powerless. That's why our second weapon is action. Across the world, youth are organizing, advocating, and mobilizing. In India, the Youth Against Corruption movement took to the streets to demand transparency in government exams. In Nigeria, tech-savvy students created platforms to report bribery in schools and local offices. These are not isolated events, they are the beginning of a global youth-led accountability revolution. Here in Indonesia, we've seen similar sparks. Student groups have formed integrity clubs, monitored village budgets, and launched digital campaigns to expose fraud. As Jamatia 2023 points out, youth-led advocacy is not just inspiring, it's effective. It pushes institutions to respond, it makes the media pay attention, and most importantly, it sends a message: we are watching and we care. To sustain this movement, we also need our third weapon, which is to build our critical thinking. Corruption doesn't always wear a name tag. Sometimes it hides in complexity, in silence, or in tradition. As Akulova et al. 2020 suggests, young people with strong analytical and leadership skills are better able to question unjust systems and propose better ones, whether through student parliaments, policy debates, or innovation hubs. We must sharpen our minds to not only resist bad systems, but to replace them with better ones. Imagine the possibilities. What if youth created an app to track government's projects in real time? What if schools had integrity audits run by students? What if we made ethics as viral as memes? Of course, this path is not easy. Young people face barriers, lack of funding, limited access to decision-making spaces, and in some cases, fear of retaliation. Sometimes we're dismissed with, "You are too young to understand," but let me say this clearly. Understanding corruption doesn't require age, it requires awareness. Standing up for justice doesn't need permission, it needs conviction. That's why supporting youth initiatives is critical. Government must provide funding, mentorship, and protection. Schools must integrate integrity in everyday lessons. Civil society and media must uplift youth voices, not just when it's popular, but when it matters most. So, what can we do right now? We can talk, we can question, we can organize, we can report, we can innovate, we can choose integrity even when no one is watching. We can stop seeing corruption as someone else's problem and start treating it as everyone's problem, our problem. Because at the end of the day, a just society is not inherited, it is built, not by perfect people, but by committed people. Not in one day, but with daily choices. Small acts of courage, big acts of change. To every young person listening today, your voice matters, your action matters. You are not too small to make a difference. You are the reason things will change. If we want a future free from corruption, we must build it ourselves with clear minds, brave hearts, and clean hands. As Kofi Annan once said, "You are never too young to lead, and you should never doubt your capacity to triumph where others have not." Let's rise together for justice, for integrity, for the future. Thank you.